Welcome back to tutorials. Our next topic is Mealy Machine. Mealy Machine is a finite automata which gives output. It is also like Moore machine, but in Moore machine output depends on present state, and here output depends on present state as well as on current input symbol. So outputs are associated with transitions in Mealy machine, but in Moore machine outputs are associated with present state. Mathematically it is a six-tuple machine. Here it is a six-tuple machine ME. Q is a set of all states of this ME Mealy machine. Sigma is set of all input symbols, and this triangle is a set of all outputs. Delta is a transition function. It takes two arguments, that is present state and an input symbol, and it gives next state as a output. Lambda is a output function. Here output depends on present state as well as on input symbol. So it maps present state and input symbol into output. Actually it gives output associated with each transition. Now Q0 is the initial state of Mealy machine. Now this is a Mealy machine. Here I have represented it in tabular form. Now here all states are mentioned: Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So in this Mealy machine there are only 4 states. Initial state is mentioned by putting an arrow before it. Here Q1 is the initial state of this Mealy machine. Now here there are only 2 input symbols which this Mealy machine can read, 0 and 1. Now look at this row. Here the present state is Q2. When the input symbol is 0, which means when it is in present state, when it is in state Q2 and it reads 0, then the next state will be Q1 and the output will be 1. Now when the present state is Q2, means machine is in state Q2 and it reads an input symbol 1, then it will transit to Q4 and gives output 0. In this way we can interpret this table. We can also represent Mealy machine in graphical form. When we represent it in a form of graph, that graph is also called transition diagram. Now here, when we represent it by graph, nodes of graph represents state of Mealy machine. Now here we have 4 states: Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, not Q0. Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4. Here Q1 is an initial state. We will put an arrow before it. Now here the output is associated with transition. So output will be labeled on arrows because we use arrows to represent transition. So in this case arrows will be labeled by input as well as by output symbol. So how will we represent? Suppose machine is in state QX and on reading an input symbol A, it jumps to state QY and gives an output 0. Then what will we do? We will label the arrow which represents transition by input symbol slash output. Here A is the input and 0 is output. It means when machine is in QX state and it reads A, it will jump to QY and give 0 as output. Now see Q1. When it reads 0, it jumps to Q3 state and it gives output 0. So how will we label this arrow? First write input symbol, that is 0, then write output symbol 0. So in this way, when it reads 1, when we apply 1, it will jump to Q2 and output will be 0. When it reads 1, it will jump to Q2 and output will be 0. So first write input symbol 1, then slash and then output symbol. So when it is in Q2, it reads 0, it will jump to 1 and gives output 1. So when it reads 1, when its present state is Q2 and it reads 1, it will jump to Q4 and its output will be 0. When present state is Q3 and input is 0, then next state will be Q2. And the output will be 1. When it reads 1 and its present state is Q3, it will jump to state Q1 and output will be 1. 1, 1. And when its present state is Q4 and it reads 0, its output will be 1 and next state will also be Q4. But when it reads 1 here, it will jump to Q3 and output will be 0. So first write input symbol and then write output. So this is a graphical representation of this Mealy machine. Now let us see how it processes the string 0, 1, 1, 1, right? Whenever this Mealy machine starts, it starts from initial state. Its initial state is its starting state. Whenever it starts reading any string or any input symbol, it starts from initial state. So it starts from Q1. It reads 0. When it reads 0, it jumps to Q3 and output would also be 0. Now it has come on state Q3. Now it has to read input symbol 1. From Q3, when it reads 1, it again jumps back to Q1 and output will be 1. Now again it has to read 1. Now the present state is Q1 and when it reads 1, it jumps to Q2 and output is 0. Now again it has to read 1. When it reads 1, it jumps to Q4 and From Q2, when it reads 1, it jumps to Q4 and output is 0. So when this Mealy machine reads 011 string, the output would be 0100. 0100. Thank you very much.